Hello, this is Trisha Reinhardt, the Information Services Director over at the Regis College Library, and today I'm going to show you how to get to the library homepage, as well as how to do a basic search in our databases. So if you are just starting out and have never visited the library homepage before, it's super easy to get to it. There's actually a few different ways you can. If you are on any Regis College page at all, you can go up to menu here, and we are about halfway down the academics list, and here's the library here. If you are on Regis Resources, which you can also get to on any Regis College page, or if you have it bookmarked in your browser, which is great, there is a library link there as well. And if you are in Moodle and you are looking at your assignment and you want to get started on researching, there is a library link there. So if you look towards the top of the screen, there is a Regis College drop down. It's kind of in a bar sort of in this area of the page. And when you click on that, it will show the library link, and you can click right on it and it'll take you right to the library. So here we are on the library homepage. We are going to be focusing our search in PowerSearch, which is a database that does one big search of almost all of the databases that we have available. It's really good for interdisciplinary searches, broader searches. If you're just starting out searching your topic, it's a good place to start just to see what's out there. But if you are looking for something more specific, we do have subject-specific databases that you can use. Watch for another video on that where we go over how to get to the databases and how to search for articles in those databases, as well as which databases to use depending on your topic. But for today, I am going to be using PowerSearch. So you have to type something in to get it going. And then once I hit search, you'll see on the next screen, you can limit with additional keywords, publication year, that sort of thing. You'll see that. So my research question for today is, how does social media affect teenagers' self-esteem? So I'm going to put in my main concept here, social media, and I will hit search. And so if you are working from off campus, you will be asked to log in with your Moodle login. So that is your username and then whatever your password is that you get into Moodle with. So don't worry about that at regiscollege.edu. You don't need that to get into the databases. And then you click log in, and I have my username and password automatically saved, which is a blessing and a curse sometimes. Because when I have to remember my password, sometimes it makes it harder to remember it, but it makes it easy for situations like this as well. So here we are, our social media search, and as you can see, our search results here, 1 to 10 of 2.4 million results. That is a lot of results. No one expects you to read 2.4 million results. And this is a very broad search of just social media. But before I start narrowing things down, I wanted to show you this Start Your Research box. So if you put in a more popular, kind of interdisciplinary, broader topic up here, you might get a Start Your Research box. And so when you click on this, it actually reads like an encyclopedia article. It's done by the Salem Press Encyclopedia. And so you can get a lot of background information on your topic. So if you're just starting your topic, if you say, I want to do something on social media and self-esteem, or social media and teenagers, but you're not really sure what direction you want to go in, feel free to check these out, because this particular article has a lot of information in it. It talks about the different platforms, the different social media platforms, marketing, there's privacy concerns, that's a huge issue, the impact. So you can get some additional keywords, some additional concepts that you can use in your search using these. And then they always have a bibliography at the end. And so it's a good way to search sometimes. Another way to search is by looking at the bibliography or references that they have used within their paper. It backs up what they're saying, but it's also relevant to your topic as well. So you might find additional sources just by looking at the bibliography or references at the end of the paper. So we'll go back to the results because I want to narrow these down. My topic isn't just on social media. It also has 2 other concepts. And so what I'm about to use now is a search strategy called Boolean searching. And if you've never heard of that before, it's using the terms and or to formulate a search strategy that will hopefully get you the most out of your results. So the term and searches all of your concepts together. So I have social media, teenagers, and self-esteem, right? And so the and is connecting all of these terms together and essentially narrowing down my search because it's searching all of the concepts together. Now, if I wanted to broaden my search up a little bit, so if I put all these in and I hit search and I didn't really get a whole lot of results, another strategy you can use is using the or operator. And so or puts together like terms or synonyms to kind of capture every iteration or every form of the concept or key term that you're using. So for instance, teenagers or adolescents or young adults or teens, those are all good ways of also saying teenagers, and there might be other articles that are using these terms instead of teenagers. But keep in mind that these terms are popular terms that other users have used, so they're more suggested. So just because you see them there does not mean you have to use them. I am focusing more on middle school and high school, so I am actually not going to use young adults. Just because it's here, I'm not going to use it. So I like the teenagers, adolescents, or teens. Similarly, with self-esteem, there are some other ways of incorporating self-esteem. There's self-concept or self-worth. I like those as well. So those are some ways to formulate a really good search strategy to get the most out of your results. And I always say, let your results lead you. So what that means is you put in your terms, you hit search, and you look at what you have. You may not be perfect search results. It's not an exact science. So look at what you have, see the trends, what is coming up in the articles, and then go from there and limit from there. So you might have to change up your search terms, you might have to use additional limiters or take out limiters. So always take a look at your results and see what you have first before you start limiting everything. But for the sake of demonstration, I will show you the different limiters right now. So the limit to options over here, there are a few I'm going to point out. So there's this scholarly peer-reviewed. So I'm going to go over this a little more fleshed out. So if you're not familiar with scholarly peer, you may have heard the terms used before. They are basically articles that are in scholarly peer-reviewed journals that go through a certain publication process. So the articles themselves are written by experts for other experts or people interested in the field. But before they can be published, they need to be read by other experts. And they check for accuracy, that the study was performed properly, that the results and numbers look good, that they have enough references, that sort of thing. So before these articles can be published, they go through a vigorous process. So you know that these articles are credible. So when you check this off, it's limiting to those scholarly peer-reviewed journals. And you probably noticed it went from 2,900 to 2,300, 2,381. So that's knocked off, newspaper articles, reports, that sort of thing. What we're looking for is actually in these academic journals here. So you'll see a few different links underneath each result. So you'll see PDF full text. That's just going to take you right to the PDF of the article. So when we click in here, you'll see the article itself, how it was published in the journal. And so this is going more on that scholarly piece. This isn't what a typical scholarly article looks like. It's longer in length. This one is 23 pages. It's got a long descriptive title. It's broken up into pretty specific pieces. It's going to have an abstract. It's going to have different sections to it. So this is probably the background section that they're talking about. And then further down, they'll have a methodology, section, which talks about the study, what type of study it is, what the sample size and type is, that sort of thing. And then it's going to talk about the results of their study. And further down, they will have a discussion conclusion section where they talk about what this means to the field, what this means to the topic. So here's the conclusion section here of the article. And then always, always, always at the end, it will have a long list of references. So these references span several pages. It means they've used a lot of information to back up what they have to say, which makes it more credible. So not every single scholarly article is going to look the same. It really depends on the field, it depends on the journal, and it also depends on the discipline. So not every discipline has necessarily studies. So you might not see these conducted studies with the different parts in them. In the humanities, you might see critical analyses, that sort of thing. But there are other clues, like longer in length, a long list of references, longer descriptive title. It's in a scholarly peer-reviewed journal after you've checked that off, that sort of thing, so that you can tell that the article is in fact credible and scholarly. So going back here, we're going to go back to the results list, and we'll talk about a couple of the other limiters we have here. So this Regis Library Has It is essentially the stuff that we have direct access to. So right now you're seeing PDF full text, available full text, which means when you click on it, it will just take you out to a different database that we have available in our collections. So it's the same process. It just, the PDF is not directly available through PowerSearch specifically. So I'm going to click on that, and here's the PDF here. So that's just another way to get to your article. But then you may also see this request from Interlibrary Loan, and there will be a separate video on how to request from Interlibrary Loan. But basically this means that we do not have full text access to it. We don't subscribe to this particular journal or this particular issue of this journal. So we obtain it for you from another library, and we send it to you through email. But watch for another video on how to request from Interlibrary Loan. But that's what this limiter means. So when I check this off, those requests from Interlibrary Loans are going to disappear. And we will only see items that we have direct full text access to. So as you can see, the results went down quite a bit. So that is limiting you a little bit in the amount of results you have to go through and to possibly use. But 1,300 is still a good number, so I wouldn't worry about it. And it really depends on your assignment, your project. So if you have a longer period of time, you might have time to request stuff from Interlibrary Loan. If you have a much bigger paper, you might need more sources, so you want to keep your options open, that sort of thing. But carrying on further with these limiters, You may also want to limit by publication date. So this is when the article is published, obviously, and I usually say, well, for this demonstration, I usually say the last 10 years, but it really depends on your topic, your assignment, your professor's requirements for the article. Sometimes you might see the last 5 to 7 years if it's in the medical field, but typically within the last 5 to 10 years is good, because you really do want to get that most recent information, most recent studies, most recent school of thought on your topic. But there may be, again, depending on your assignment, you may need to get historical articles that were written quite a bit ago, and that's okay. But for the purpose of this demonstration, I did the last 10 years. So now that knocked off another 300 results. And so the last limiter I'm going to show you is the tag subject. And so this is a more refined way of searching. So up here, what we've done essentially is a keyword search, I guess you could say. So you're using a more refined keyword way of searching, but when you are searching subject, or you check off these subjects, which I'll show you in a minute, you are searching literally what the articles are about. So these are coming from the publisher, from the author, saying this is what the article is about. And so if you see here under each result, there's these subjects. And so there's adolescence. They're bolded. My key terms are bolded: adolescence, social media, self-perception, teenagers. So this one might be a good one to look at, but I can manipulate my results by clicking on these different tags. So the hit count is how many articles there are within that have these subjects in them. So I'm just going to check off self-concept, social media, human, self-perception. I want both female and male. I see male down here. So I'm not doing, there is the possibility of just doing female, but I am looking at both to start. Body image, that's definitely a part of my topic. Body image and social media sometimes go hand in hand. Self-esteem, adolescence, social networks. You get the idea. There's many more you can go through down here. Bullying or cyberbullying, those are two, those affect self-esteem as well and have a lot to do with social media, so you might want to check those off as well. But now I'm going to update my results. And it's going to be a little more refined because it's looking at the subject as opposed to a keyword that's in the title, in the abstract, in the text of the article, that sort of thing. So that is all I have for now for the searching and limiters piece, but watch for our additional videos on interlibrary loan and the fun things you can do in EBSCO and the subject-specific databases. So thank you for listening today. I hope you stay well and stay safe, and hope to hear from you soon.